always think everything can be fixed.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine. And if it isn't exactly fine, you can fix it. If you can't fix it, stop worrying.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
Do you know, it's interesting because I say the exact same. I'm rubbish about doing it about myself and my own expectations. Yeah. But for other people, I always go, worst things happen at sea, or did anybody die? No. Well, we can fix it then, can't we? Do you know? And I wonder whether some of that is because both of us, although our historic experience is very different, it's both been in situations where actually really dangerous things do happen. People do die, unfortunately, and you do find yourself in situations that are way out of your control. And sometimes for our own emotional resilience and our own ability to cope, actually you have to have that type of coping mechanism, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. To be able to switch off from work and go home and find the ability to sleep. I mean, it doesn't always work, does it? But to be able to sleep when you think, you know, that you've left somebody not safe, but there was nothing you could do about it. You're worried that somebody, you know, maybe won't be there tomorrow. But you've actually done all you can, but it still could happen.
Absolutely.
And, you know, there are nights when you can't sleep, but there are times when you think, I can't do anymore. I can't do anymore. And you are able to sort of put it in a little bit of a box. But yeah.
That was one of my biggest learning points as a professional. And I did the Professional Boundaries podcast with Sarah some weeks ago now. And we talked about obviously kind of recognizing our own limitations and things. And that was one of my biggest learning points. And one of the things that I live by today. And I kind of, in fact, you'll see it on every single Taye training presentation from when you've observed the courses. When it goes to the emotional resilience one, at the bottom of the slide, it says, if you've done everything you possibly can within the constraints of your role, that's all you can do. That was one of my biggest learning points. Joe, that took me from burning out and actually having not the strongest of professional boundaries to actually being able to be really good at my work and be a really good mum and wife. Do you know?
I've heard a lot of phrases like that before, but for me, the key one with that one is the within the constraints, because you do sit there and think, yes, but if this was different, I could have done that. And if this, and you go in that circle and you're like, yeah, but that isn't different. You aren't allowed to do that. You're not able to do that. Therefore, you have done all you can.
Absolutely.
Getting yourself in that if and what and, you know, maybe scenario.
Absolutely. And I've always been, throughout my whole career, a bit of a thorn in the sides of my managers when I had them when I was, Joe, you're smiling, it's like, yeah, I can see that, Tammy, of my managers, because I've always been that advocate. And if the constraints have been there, I haven't stepped out of them, but gosh, I've asked for them to be, you know, I've really challenged them and said, actually, why are they there? Are they in the best interests of the individual? What can we do to move them? What can we do to kind of flex these, etc.? And sometimes you can't do anything, but other times asking those questions can make that huge difference, can't it?
Absolutely. I mean, one of my biggest bugbears was that often the reply was, well, because that's how we do it. No.
Yeah. No, it's not actually. Not when we're working
That's
with
not the reason for doing it.
people. Yeah. No, we're certainly on the same page,